Hello, it's me, Chastity, and I need to talk about some things that have happened this week. And I'm going to try to keep this short if I can, because a few things that happened this week that were most unusual, very disturbing and sad, but also good. So, I have been doing far too much. I have been working full time at Walmart and sometimes missing sleep to try to, catch up on schoolwork. And I have been so focused on whether or not my bosses approve of me at my job at Walmart and whether or not I get good grades. And I've been so focused with pleasing people that my health was suffering, my physical health, my mental health. And what happened, what happened this week, besides working at Walmart, what really happened this week, it really started on Thursday night. Because the way it's been is that Thursday and Saturday nights are my night off. And so that's the time when I work on schoolwork, maybe stream some chess games, play live chess online or something like that. And that's the way it's been. But this time, what was great, you know what, I'm going to take off my glasses. My glasses keep falling off. I have a slippery face. I'm just going to talk. I'm just going to be real with you guys. What happened really started Thursday. This is where things got a little bit weird. You see, Anastasia, a friend and fellow member of the Rainbow Pro-Life Alliance, finally contacted me back and we set up a podcast and we talked about some great things. It was a good talk. There was absolutely nothing wrong with that talk. However, that talk was so emotional, so personal, that it got me into an emotional state of mind. And what happened was I was doing an Instagram live. Some of you may remember this if you're my Instagram followers. I was doing an Instagram live while I walked to work at Walmart Friday night. And I was talking about the podcast that I did with Anastasia. And particularly, I got talking about how my mother raised me as a single parent. My single mother raised me and homeschooled me. And it got me thinking about a lot of things. It got me thinking about the way I grew up and how poor we were and how it was just me and my mom and how I didn't have a father figure in my life. Um, and I got me really thinking about how I felt like a failure because no matter how hard I tried, I've never been able to, you know, for my whole adult life, I've never been able to really work a job and make enough money to provide a better life for my mom. And I kind of cried. I kind of broke down while I was doing an Instagram live, and that doesn't usually happen like that. But it was at a moment where I was talking about some things and I was afraid that my dreams would never come true and that my mom's dreams would never come true. And I was feeling like all the pressure on me was on me to do well at my job and somehow get promoted to where I can get my mom and I a house and we can really start doing the things we want to do. We have so many goals, so many dreams, and very important things that we want to do. In fact, my mom and I, we actually have a book that we've been talking about that we want to author together. My mom and I have both published books before, and it's a very important topic. But what happened was I was just afraid that none of this would ever happen because I was at my breaking point where I was losing sleep, not eating and sleeping enough, and worried that I was going to get bad grades because I couldn't keep up with school. And then I was also worried about, getting fired at Walmart because, I can never hit the times they expect me to. They're always, no matter how hard I try, it's always like, well, you should have been done with this by now. And, that's how it is with the jobs. You know how when you're at a job, you never hear anything when you do things right. It's only when you're not fast enough or people think you did something wrong that then they come and bother you. And what I've realized from this experience is that if I'm looking to feel good about myself, I'm not going to get it from my job at Walmart. And I'm not going to get it from my school grades either, because the problem is much deeper than that. And what happened when I cried is I got into a state of mind. I got into a very interesting state of mind. And I did work at Walmart, but I wasn't fully there, if you know what I'm saying. I wasn't fully present in the moment. My body was there, and yet I was actually in animal sanctuary, and I was talking with Honesty the unicorn. It was very strange. And what happened is I remember this as you people who follow me on Instagram, you may remember that I had some very interesting posts. They were screenshots of what I had written on my notes app on my iPhone. They weren't proofread or anything like that. But it was very strange because what I wrote there, that happened while I was on lunch break. And I started writing. I started writing down with my phone, which is not an easy thing, what was happening to me in the emotional, spiritual realm. It was very bizarre. It was so bizarre, and it's hard to describe. I feel like the text doesn't do it justice, but it comes pretty close. And it's been on my mind ever since because I was having conversations with Honesty, the unicorn. And if you don't know what that means, that's because you haven't read my books where you see who Honesty is. But basically, I was talking to God. That's basically it. Basically, I was talking to God and having a spiritual experience. And I was crying a lot. I was crying as I walked to work. I was crying while I was at work. And I wondered if anyone noticed anything was wrong with me. It's hard to say. But then what happened is after I got through that, tonight was my night off. And I was talking to my mom about how I felt. And then I did some writing tonight. I wrote 7 small chapters of, I guess, what could become the next book in the series. I don't know what this is. I don't fully understand what's happening to me. But right now, I'm in a rather serious but positive state of mind. And so you see, I I've been talking to Honesty the Unicorn, and I've been writing, and I feel different. I feel better, but I feel different because for the first time, I've realized that I've had my priorities out of whack, and I wasn't even prepared enough to do my final school assignment, not as much as I would have liked to. And part of that is the lack of time because I'm trying to do school, work a full-time job. But you know what? Right now, I don't care about what kind of grade I'm going to get. I have this feeling that God is with me. This feeling that I don't have to rely on the opinions of humans and whether or not they approve of me um, to um, to make things happen as they need to happen. And I haven't felt like this for a long time. And I've had previous conversations with Honesty the Unicorn, and there's a whole book series. And what always happens is I have these spiritual experiences, and then I write what I remember happening. I have to translate into words, into text what happened. And sometimes it's wrong. And there, especially when typing on my phone or on my computer real fast, there's typos, misspellings, all kinds of lack of punctuation. It's horrible, but it flows out of me. Like, and it just tonight it just came out. Like tonight, I had this time where I was just writing and writing, and then I had written like 4 chapters, very very small chapters of this conversation I was having with Honesty the Unicorn, and I emailed them to my mom, and it was just very weird because this kind of thing, it flows. And you remember how um if you watch my streams on Twitch or Instagram where I'm playing chess and I'm explaining chess openings or I'm talking about chess while I walk to work, that I can just talk really fast all the information that's in my head about the game of chess. Well, it was kind of like that, except the subject wasn't chess. The subject was my personal feelings and beliefs that I discussed with Honesty the Unicorn. It was weird. It was a weird experience. And right now, I'm not sure exactly what's going on with my life or what's happening to me. But I feel very different. And so I wasn't even going to do a stream tonight because I'm tired. I've been working on school and stuff. But this feeling, I don't want to forget it. I don't want to forget this feeling. And it's an experience that I want to share and I want to talk about. But it's hard to describe. But I do think that you may understand if I share something with you. I wrote some very interesting things, and I'm going to find the post on Instagram. I'm going to look for the post on Instagram because I posted something on Instagram, and it's the actual text, if there's errors in it, may be subject to change. But there's something I need to show you guys. I'm going to share my screen let's see, I'm going to switch to desktop mode and I'm going to share my screen. So you can see my Instagram page and what happened. Okay, here's my desktop. Here is my Instagram page. It's my Instagram profile. And, you see there's stuff about chess, there's the progress flag, you see the Instagram live videos, you see more chess videos, other games. But I want to show you these pictures here that were typed on my phone. And it was very strange. There were 3 pictures here. I'm going to read this to you. Things were different now, because Chastity was not afraid to cry, because honesty had told her how rainbows are created. When the rain of tears touches the light of truth, the rainbow appears to show us the narrow way that leads to life. Chastity's body was at Walmart working overnight, but that was not where her soul was. Her soul was with those who cried the tears that they thought no one saw. But honesty saw the tears of the white rose, and spoke to her. It touched her with the silver horn of truth. And this I need to show you. I have an image of the text, and I have the text here in the post. And this is a conversation that I had with Honesty the Unicorn about whether or not I'm a Christian, and explaining who the rainbow people are. This is weird stuff. This is extremely interesting stuff. And if you want to read the full text, I encourage you to, go to my Instagram page and take a look at it. But it's just very interesting, because I'm having conversations with the unicorn of my dreams. And it's not the first time this has happened, and it probably won't be the last. But it always starts when I cry. And I know this sounds kind of crazy. It sounds really insane. But that's been my experience over the past few days. So, for what it's worth, I want anyone who witnessed my emotional breakdown to know that I'm okay and I'm doing better. And thank you for listening. And thank you, Honesty the Unicorn, for listening to me as well. Have a good night, everybody, or morning, whatever time it is, wherever you are. I'm going to get some rest. Be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes.